Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Wednesday, October 17th, 2018.
Commissioner Repenning, Commissioner James, Commissioner Davis, and also Commissioner Jacinto are present. President James, we do have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning. Mike Cirillo, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning. Hassan Rod, Sanitation.
Good morning. Assad Al-Najjar, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning. David Rivera, Street Services.
Good morning. Chris Smith, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning. Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we do not have any speaker cards under general public comment. We also do not have any commentary under the Neighborhood Council comments section. We did receive a speaker card on item number 2 for today's agenda.
Okay, we'll close general public comment as well as the Neighborhood Council category of commentary. Let's go ahead and take care of the bids this morning. Agenda item number 1, bids for, it looks like 2, although maybe it's just 1, Public Works project. Dr. Campos, you'll let us know. I've got 2 on the agenda, but 1 on my sheet here.
We do have 2 bids that we will open up. We have distributed.
We have 2?
We do have 2. We've
Okay.
distributed the first to all commissioners, and the second one we will distribute in a few minutes.
Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and take care, well, before we do number 1, let's go ahead and take care of number 5. Office of Community Beautification, Council District number 8, Contract Amendment, Coalition for Responsible Community Development. Recommending that the board first authorize the Office of Community Beautification to execute the contract amendment with the Coalition for Responsible Community Development in the amount of $100,000 to provide funding for supplemental community beautification services in Council District 8 during fiscal year 2018-2019. And secondly, authorize myself or 2 members of the board to execute the contract amendment after approval as to form has been obtained by the City Attorney. Mr. Rocha on number 5.
Good morning. Paul Roch, Director of the Office of Community Beautification. The Coalition for Responsible Community Development is one of the nonprofit agencies under contract with the Office of Community Beautification. They provide graffiti abatement and public right-of-way cleanup services in the South LA area. The Office of Councilmember Harris Dawson has indicated that they would like to utilize CRCD services on a higher level in Council District 8 for enhanced alley cleanup, bulky item pickup, weed abatement, and litter cleanup. Therefore, the Council Office has transferred funds into the Board of Public Works Contractual Services account in the amount of $100,000 for these additional services during fiscal year 2018-19. And this morning we're here requesting board approval to amend the existing contract with CRCD so that these funds may be added to the contract to provide these enhanced services.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Rocha on number 5, Commissioner Jacinto?
Thank you, President James. Paul, this is great. Is there anybody from CRCD present?
No, I don't believe they are this morning.
But this is for the whole fiscal year, and they're just going to have augmented services at will, targeted to the council district.
Yes, correct. I mean, there's sort of the base level of services provided, through the budget process that go to CRCD. Council District 8 saw a need for an enhanced level and is putting some of their discretionary funds to that use.
Okay. The reason being is I understand, we know what CRCD work is their mission, and they work with young people. And it's really important. I always like to hear about who is doing the work and getting the employment at CRCD. So I support this, of course.
Right,
Thank
correct, because obviously through these funds, additional members of the community are hired to provide these services. So.
Thank you, Mr. Raj. Thank you, Commissioner Jacinto. Anything further?
Yeah,
Mr. Davis.
Yeah, Mr. Roch, CRCD is also doing successful work in other areas of the city as well. I know the 9th District, I think,
yes,
that they are successfully doing work there as well. So I think it's great that we've expanded their services and that they'll be a benefit to the 8th District. And Mr. President, I'd like to move that we support the motion if it's okay.
Okay, that's Commissioner Davis's motion on number 5, seconded by Commissioner Jacinto. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 5. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any issue sending number 5 forthwith? We'll send number 5 forthwith. Is there a second to my motion that we approve the meeting minutes from the meeting on Monday, September 17, 2018 by Commissioner Repenning? Any objection? Without objection, we will do that. Agenda item number 4, it's been requested by the Bureau and the Executive Office that we continue the item. This would be the second continuance. Dr. Campos, what date are you all asking for?
We're asking for Monday, November 19th.
Monday, November 18th?
19th.
19th. Will that be enough time so we don't have to continue it again?
That should be enough time, yes.
Okay, I would like for that to be enough time so we don't have to continue that one again. That will be Monday, November 19th on agenda item number 4. Agenda item number 1, Ms. Carter, are we ready this morning? Okay, great. Dr. Campos, on number 4, we have 2 Public Works agenda items for bids.
Yes, we will begin to open up the bids for the first project, which is for the Adams Relief Sewer Project. This is in Council District number 10. The city has estimated this project to be at $7,142,478 even. I understand we have 9 bids for the first project.
Although, I'm sorry, I've got 2 copies of the same one.
I will give you a copy of the second one.
Okay.
Did you get the same one?
I have.
Oh, you have the second one.
We have the one that's 1.8 million, and we have 2 of those. Yeah, I don't have the one that's 7 million. There we go.
Commissioner Davis, you have hers.
Yes, I do.
Commissioner Jacinto, Repenning has hers. I think it's just you, President James.
Okay, I was the one today. Okay, great. Go ahead.
Again, in total, 9 bids we received for the first project. We will begin to open up the bids for those. The first bid is from Steve Bubalo Construction Company for a total bid amount of $11,485,250 even. That's $11,485,250 from Steve Bubalo Construction Company. The second bid is from Lone Rock Incorporated, that's LONEROCK Incorporated, for a total bid amount of $8,485,750 even. Let me say that one more time, $8,485,750 even. That's 8485750 from Lone Rock Incorporated. The third bid received is from Blois Construction Incorporated for a total bid amount of $15,790,678 even. That's $15,790,678 from Blois Construction Incorporated for the record line item number 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, and the total bid amount have been lined out by the contractor and all lines have been initialed. The fourth bid received is from Mike Perlich and Sons Incorporated for a total bid amount of $6,442,650 even. That's $6,442,650 from Mike Perlich and Sons. The fifth bid is from Colich and Sons LP for a total bid amount of $12,519,930 even. That's $12,519,930 from Colich and Sons LP. The sixth bid is from Vito Artukovic and Son Incorporated, Vidmar Inc. AJV, for a total bid amount of $9,403,606 even. That's 9403606 from Vito Artukovic and Son Incorporated / Vidmar Inc. AJV. The seventh bid is from W.A. Rassick Construction Company, Incorporated, for a total bid amount of $9,845,000 even. That's 9845000 from W.A. Rassick Construction Company, Incorporated. For the record, line item number 15 and also the total bid amount has been lined out by the contractor, and both lines have been initialed. The eighth bid is from Aladdin Buntich Construction Company, Incorporated, for a total bid amount of $8,080,602 even. That's 8080602 from Aladdin Buntich Construction Company, Incorporated. The ninth and final bid received for the first project is from M&R Construction, Incorporated, for a total bid amount of $11,385,310 even. That's 11385,310 from M&R Construction, Incorporated. For the record, line item 22 has been lined out by the contractor, and it also has been initialed. President James, that concludes the bid openings for the first project. We will now begin to open up bids for the second project. The second project is for the Secondary Sewer Renewal Program, W20 Ventura Boulevard and Tampa Avenue. This is in Council District Number 3. The city has estimated this project to be at $1,802,390 even. And for the second bid, we have received six bids in total.
I have extra copies of this one.
You have 3 copies. The first bid received for the second project is from Kolich & Sons LP for a total bid amount of $3,823,463 even. That's 3823463 from Kolich & Sons LP. The next bid is from M&R Construction Incorporated for a total bid amount of $2,951,198 even. That's 2951198 from M&R Construction Incorporated. For the record, line item number 42 has been lined out by the contractor, and it has been initialed. The third bid received is from Ramona Incorporated for a total bid amount of $3,548,868 even. That's 3548868 from Ramona Incorporated. The next bid is from Aladdin Buntich Construction Company for a total bid amount of $3,337,215 even. That's 3337215 from Aladdin Buntich Construction Company, Incorporated. The fifth bid received is from Mike Perlich & Sons, Incorporated, for a total bid amount of $3,094,267 even. That's 3094267 from Mike Perlich & Sons, Incorporated. For the record, line item number 22, also line item 41 has been lined out by the contractor, and both lines have been initialed. The sixth and final bid received for the second project is from Basilch Incorporated for a total bid amount of $3,100,974 even. That's 3100974 from Basilch Incorporated. For the record, line item number 24 was whited out, not lined out, but initialed by the contractor. And also line item 44, not lined out, whited out, and initialed by the contractor. Mr. President, that concludes the bid openings for the second project and all bids for today's agenda.
Great, thank you both. So is there a second to my motion that the bids be received, opened, and declared by Commissioners Davis, Garcia, and Repenning? Any objection? Without objection, that will be the order, and we will do so forthwith. Thank you, Mary. Agenda item number 3, Council Districts 8 and 10, Memorandum of Agreement, Metro Crenshaw LAX Transit Corridor contract limits in both directions on Crenshaw Boulevard between Exposition Boulevard and 67th Street. Recommending that the board first authorize the Bureau of Street Services to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority, and secondly, authorize myself or 2 members of the board to execute the memorandum of agreement after approval as to form has been obtained by the city attorney. Audrey Netzwein. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Del Garza. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning, President James, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, City Attorney, and Executive Officer. My name is Audrey Netzwein. I am a landscape architect with the Bureau of Street Services. Today I'm here to request for board action to authorize the Bureau of Street Services to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transit Authority, or MTA, to repair and replace sidewalk and curb outside of the Metro Crenshaw LAX Transit Corridor construction contract limits in both directions on Crenshaw Boulevard between Exposition Boulevard and 67th Street. On April 18, 2014, the Board of Public Works adopted a joint report prepared by the Bureau of Street Services and the Bureau of Engineering, which specifies conditions under which the board granted MTA and its contractor, Walshay Corridor Constructor, known as WSCC, the tree removal permit they sought in connection with the construction of the Crenshaw LAX line. This MOU served to resolve a portion of the condition number 3 of the state joint report regarding the repair and replace all sidewalks and curbs in both directions on Crenshaw Boulevard between Exposition Boulevard and 67th Street to avoid a patchwork appearance of the final project. While some of the sidewalk and curb work within the state limits will be completed by WSCC, there are areas outside of their restoration limits where repair or replacement of the sidewalk and curb will be required. Various methods of delivery within a tight timeline were explored. In the end, the project finds that the Bureau of Street Services in-house design-build delivery method is the most favorable choices in terms of time and cost to deliver this project. So this MOU will provide a mean for MTA to fulfill its permits condition by compensating the Bureau of Street Services to complete sidewalk and curb work outside of WSCC's restoration areas on Crenshaw Boulevard. Specific terms of work and the agreement are included in the attachments that you have, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Audrey. I would just add to the record that this was a negotiation for some period of time between Metro, the respective bureaus, as well as the mayor's office. And I wanted to thank everyone that was involved in the negotiation, really from both sides, meaning city side, the bureaus and the mayor's office, and Metro side, the team at Metro, as we continue to make progress towards finality and completion on the Crenshaw line. Any questions at all regarding this? Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you, President James. I'll just recognize your leadership, too, in helping provide the collective memory of what we needed to unpack this after 5 years. And that was significant. That brought everybody on the same page as to what we have to do, because in the end, we have to take care of the sidewalks along. And that's a significant project, so I appreciated your leadership on that. Audrey, I support this. And how many linear, or what's the scope of the project, just for public record? How much of sidewalk restoration are we going to do?
Sure. Approximately square footage of the sidewalk, it's about 150,000 square feet. There's also curb and gutter. That's about, I would say, 11,000 linear feet. This is on and off about 18 blocks.
18 blocks on either side.
Correct, but there's long and short blocks. And
very good,
some
an
half
average.
blocks, yeah.
But 18 blocks, so it's
Correct.
a significant stretch.
Yes.
Very good. I'm glad we're getting it done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? Is that a motion, Commissioner Jacinto? I'll second it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 3.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Netsawong. Any issue sending number 3 forthwith? We'll send number 3 forthwith. Agenda item number 2, tree removal, Bureau of Street Services, 900, this is in Council District 10, 900 through 2300 block of Venice Boulevard, recommending that the board first find that the project and tree removal, 1, classifies as operation, repair, maintenance, or minor alteration of existing street, sidewalk, and gutter, involving negligible or no expansion of use beyond that previously existing, and does not involve the removal of a scenic resource. 2, that the action is exempt under Article 3, Section 1, Class 1, Category 3, existing facilities, sidewalk repair, or maintenance of the City of Los Angeles Environmental Quality Act guidelines from 2002. And 3, none of the exceptions to the use of a categorical exemption as set forth in Section 153002 of the state CEQA guidelines apply. And secondly, review and approve the tree removal permit request for the removal of 12 various species of trees, for the reconstruction of an off-grade sidewalk, and related street improvements. Tree replacements are required. Mr. Banuelos will summarize why we're here on this item, and then we have a speaker card. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, President James, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, City Attorney Dr. Campos, Hector Banuelos with the Bureau of Street Services, Urban Forestry Division. The Bureau of Engineering, a Complete Streets Division, is responsible for implementing the city's Complete Streets program. The Bureau of Engineering identified Venice Boulevard from Figueroa Street to Arlington and Council District 10 as one of 6 Complete Streets projects. The project scope includes new, renewed paving, repair of damaged sidewalks, curb and gutter, and other related infrastructure improvements. One of the goals of the program is to ensure safety, accessibility, and convenience for all transportation users, including pedestrians, transit users, and motorists, is accommodated. The Complete Streets Division staff are working in close collaboration with the Bureau of Street Services arborists in addressing potential impacts to the street trees targeted areas within the identified Complete Streets locations. The Complete Streets Division contacted the Bureau in reference to the reconstruction of off-grade sidewalks and curbs, conditions along the 900 through 2300 block of West Venice Boulevard. The Bureau arborists inspected the location and posted trees on April 30th of 2018. The inspection verified that 12 street trees will be severely impacted by the project. The trees measure approximately 20 to 60 inches in diameter that is 6 to 20 inches in diameter by 20 to 60 feet in height, and are growing in 4 feet parkways and tree wells with 5 to 9 feet sidewalks. The 12 trees are located on the following addresses: 3 Indian laurel fig trees at 949 Venice Boulevard, 2 Indian laurel fig trees at 1721 Venice Boulevard, 1 Aleppo pine tree growing at 724 Venice Boulevard, 1 maidenhair ginkgo tree at 2109 Venice Boulevard, 1 Mexican fan palm at 1554 South Wilton Boulevard on Venice Boulevard side, and 4 bottle trees growing at 1601 South Gramercy Place. The trees are in fair to poor condition, measuring, sorry about that. 1 maidenhair tree is in poor condition. It possesses a moderate lean towards the parkway. There are 4 bottle trees that possess root crowns that are growing above the parkway grade and soil grade. And 1 Mexican fan palm tree is obstructing the safe and clear passage to a driveway that's existing on Venice Boulevard. The remaining 9 trees will be severely outgrown their growing space and will be severely impacted by the required sidewalk and curb and gutter repair. Pursuant to City of Los Angeles, California Environmental Quality Act guidelines, the project is categorically exempt under Article 3, Section 1, Class 1, Category 3, and none of the exceptions of the use of the categorical exemption as set forth in the sections of the state CEQA guidelines apply. The 10th Council District Community Forestry Advisory Committee and Department of Neighborhood Empowerment were informed of the tree removal request on September 5th of 2018. If approved, the Bureau of Street Services shall plant a total of 24 24-inch box-sized New Zealand Christmas trees along the Venice Boulevard corridor and water the trees for a minimal 3-year period. Any questions?
We may, Hector, but let's hear from our speaker and see what other issues may find their way to the floor. Mr. Ostrick?
morning. Thank
Morning.
you for this opportunity. My name is Sjoerd Oostrik, and I'm here to oppose the removal of the trees on the corner of South New Hampshire Avenue and Venice Boulevard. I'm personally invested in the well-being of these trees since I live right around the corner of 1513 South New Hampshire Avenue. The City of Los Angeles has talked for years now about the importance of having a healthy and large urban forest. On the website of the Department of Public Works, it states that it is the mission of the Community Forest Advisory Committee to develop policies to expand and improve Los Angeles urban forest. Why? Because trees take up CO2, provide much needed shade, and cool off our hot streets with up to 15 degrees depending on their size, all immensely important in a age of rampant climate breakdown. They are nature's air conditioners. This is again from the website of the Department of Public Works itself under the subpage of the Community Forest Advisory Committee. Benefits of the urban forest: energy savings, cooler air, cooler neighborhoods, public health benefits from cleaner air, leaves slow down rainwater and reduce costs of stormwater management. Trees increase property value, stimulate business, enhance wildfire habitat, and beautify our city. The trees on the corner of Venice and New Hampshire are full grown and do all this. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles urban forest is year after year becoming smaller, not bigger. If we look at the total number, we are losing trees, not gaining trees, and the city is getting hotter in the process. Which makes me fear it is all words and little action from our city's government when it comes to expanding the number of trees. If these trees on Venice Boulevard will be removed, they will be replaced with young saplings, which will take at least 10 to 20 years before they start cooling down the streets around them in the same manner. Furthermore, there is no need to take them down. They are not causing safety hazards. They are not blocking the passageway. They are not lifting the adjacent street. Yes, some concrete slabs of the pavement are lifted by the roots, but next to these slabs there are still concrete slabs that are, to my estimate, 5 feet wide that are not lifted at all and not in risk of lifting. So in short, I ask the Board of Public Works to stick to their mission statement and reconsider the removal of the trees, and in doing so make a statement that it indeed takes the well-being of Los Angeles urban forests seriously. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Benuelos? So, as much as we all make observations about whether a sidewalk is passable or safe, we don't have that authority. The federal law and the federal government has taken that authority. It's called the Americans with Disabilities Act. When we begin to repair our sidewalks, as we are required to under a federal court order, we have to meet our Americans with Disabilities Act standards. So because the sidewalk looks passable or appears to some people to be passable, it doesn't mean it's passable unless it gets confirmation from our Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator that is involved in the sidewalk repair program. And that goes for any of us. We don't make that determination. The determination is made pursuant to that federal law. My question is, regarding these, the proposed trees that are scheduled for removal, what efforts, if any, were made to be able to save the trees and still do the work that needs to be done to protect the public health under the Americans with Disabilities Act that we are required to do?
The division always looks to retaining the trees whenever possible and feasible. In these locations here, the ficus trees that are, and the pine tree as well, and the bottle trees have severely outgrown the growing space. We attempt to preserve the trees. However, the amount of displacement and the limited sidewalk space will not allow us to safely prune the trees while still allowing it to grow and be able to support itself. With that,
Okay, let me see if I understand you. You're saying that, and we're talking about all the trees, or are we talking? Do you want to break it down? But what I think I heard you say was, for the trees that would require root pruning, if you root prune those trees to the point that you would need to for the sidewalk repair to meet the required standards, the tree would then be unstable?
yes, their structural integrity will be compromised.
The what?
The
Structural integrity of the tree?
Of the trees and their health will
Okay.
be compromised.
Again, does that mean that in a wind event or even not a wind event, it could fall?
Correct.
All right, go ahead.
So, and taking into account what the size of the trees, their health, and the growing location, so we determined that it is not feasible and safe to keep the trees and remain in place if we're going to perform the repairs.
Commissioner Penning?
I noted that this is part of the Complete Streets program. I know that one element of the Complete Streets projects is, I think in some cases, green infrastructure, and I was wondering whether there are any water capture-relaed elements to the design of this project, which I know might be more a question for engineering.
I'm not aware of that for this particular project.
Okay, the only reason I'm interested is as we're looking at environmental mitigations, I think that's an important one for us to be able to talk about. Part of the Complete Streets program is that we're creating a more sustainable public right-of-way, and that involves, streets that are friendlier to pedestrians and people using other types of transportation besides cars, and also that we're able to do stormwater capture wherever possible. So I think as we're looking at this and we're talking about removing trees, which granted is a very unfortunate and very unfortunate side effect of fixing these sidewalks, that we are also doing additional things besides the planting back that will lead to a more sustainable city. So I don't know if there's anyone from engineering that. Adele?
Thanks, Hector. Adele Hashkhalil, I'm the new director for the Bureau of Street Services. This is an important issue for us in street services and the city. Having a city that's sustainable with a sufficient tree canopy is a priority for all of us. We want to do that, and protecting trees is something we take seriously. I've had the chance to review these things with the team and to ensure that there's no other opportunities, but I agree that some of the trees are either dying or diseased or unable to sustain themselves. And I know recently during last weekend we had a tree that fell because of unpermitted pruning that was done that caused the tree to fall. But I agree with the Commissioner
We
Penning.
also had 500 tree emergencies in the last few days.
Exactly, 500 tree emergencies, and it's and in the city of Tustin, unfortunately, somebody lost their life because of a tree that fell over the weekend. But I agree with Commissioner Penning is developing integrated sustainable streets is critical. Trees are part of that, but also the green infrastructure we're doing, how we're capturing stormwater and creating shade and providing that. So that's a huge priority, and I've been talking to the team about making sure that we look at alternatives. We are looking at creative ways. I know Commissioner James mentioned the compliance with ADA, which is a high priority for us also. So a balance between having a city that's sustainable and having a city that's safe and mobile and complies with the federal law is a huge balance that we're trying to balance. We are committed to having a safe city. At the same time, we want to make sure we have a sustainable city. That balance, sometimes we may have to take a tree, but we're putting something else. We're going to look at developing complete and sustainable and green streets, not just complete by just sidewalks and bikeways. We need to have something that has with stormwater. So Measure W is going to be critical for us to get funding into stormwater and having that in place. Also, we're looking at alternatives that I'm working on right now with the Bureau of Engineering and the staff on a way that we can have a meandering sidewalk and passage around the tree. The only thing that we need to work with is whether that passes the ADA compliance or not. That's a big issue. So we're doing a test on a location that we're going to be discussing it today at the Public Works and Gang Reduction Committee. And hopefully by doing this test, and hopefully that will open the door for alternatives for all of us. And at the end of the day, it's going to be the community accepting it, but also has to comply with the law, which is what you mentioned, President James. So I'm going to assure you here, we've reviewed these things. We did everything we can to save these trees, but unfortunately we have to move forward to comply with the law, but also a lot of these trees are actually have outgrown their space, they're diseased, and some of them are not cannot sustain themselves. So, but I want to assure the community and you that we are working hard on doing everything we can to increase our tree canopy, to plant more trees, but also to provide this integrated stormwater green solutions, because I believe in it strongly. I think that's the right thing to do, and hopefully we can start moving forward and getting this done. So I want to just make sure I speak to that and acknowledge the staff who really are very, if anybody cares for trees, and I know everybody does, but my staff and the staff we have here are great tree advocates in themselves, and every tree they look at is a human, it's a living thing that we need to protect, and that's what the staff are looking at. So thank you.
Thank you, Adele. Real quick, before you go away, a couple of things. A number of the trees you had indicated are in poor condition. They're compromised because they're growing at an angle that's unsafe. That's one issue. The other issue, you indicated disease. I recognize that those trees have to go.
Yeah.
For the trees that are in better condition,
sure.
Before those trees are removed, will you have the Urban Forestry Division go back at the site, look and see if there's anything that can be done, be it meandering or taking out space in the public right-of-way of the road,
Sure.
If the community is willing to do that,
Yes.
to possibly save some of the other trees. The diseased trees have to go because they can infect other trees and they're unsafe. The tree that's growing at an angle that could harm people has to go because it's unsafe. The other ones, though, there might be some options that you can sharpen your pencil on.
That's exactly true. One thing I want to say is, if you can add to it, is what we're going to do is figure out the prioritization, so we're not delaying the street repair and the complete street project, because we have a timeline that we have to meet. So the dead trees or the diseased and streets that we know for sure that they're not healthy, those are going to go, and we're going to proceed with the work. The ones that are thriving, as you mentioned, we will look at the options, and hopefully by our discussion today at committee and next 30 days, I think we may be able to find alternatives, but we need to get the buy-in from both ADA, team and assessment, and also the community, because that you need to give away something in the right-of-way, either parking spaces or something else there.
Thank you. And two other points, Adele, and then we'll go to Commissioner Cinto. Can you clarify for us, are there 10 trees or 12 trees that are the subject of this tree removal?
You help me, Hector.
There are 12.
There are 12. Okay. So can you go through, Hector, on the oral record and just describe the 12 trees so that we're clear?
Okay, yes, sure, no problem. There are 3 Indian laurel fig trees growing at
Those are
949
ficus trees,
Venice
okay.
Boulevard. Those trees are relatively healthy, but they have outgrown their growing space. There are 2 Indian laurel fig trees at 721 Venice Boulevard, and 1 Aleppo pine. The pine tree absolutely cannot be root prune. There's no way to save that one. With the lean it has, the size of the tree, and the growing space, it must be removed. There's 1 maidenhair tree at 2109 Venice Boulevard, and that is in poor condition, and probably should have been removed already, but it's included in the report because it's along the corridor. It's part of the project. There is 1 Mexican fan palm tree growing at 1554 South Wilton on the Venice Boulevard side. That one is obstructing the free and clear access of a driveway. You can drive to a multi-unit apartment building. And so we want to improve the access to the facility and make the driveway to current standards. And so by doing that, the palm tree must be removed. There is 4 bottle trees growing at 1601 South Gramercy Place. 2 of them are on the Venice Boulevard side, and the 2 are in front on Gramercy. The 2 on Gramercy they're growing basically above the parkway. The root crown is exposed, and there's also displacement of the curb and the sidewalk, and so those trees cannot be saved, and those have to be removed. Excuse me. And the other 2 will be impacted by, as well as the curb and gutter and the sidewalk replacement. The bottle trees are very poor candidates for root pruning. They do not heal well, and they will go into severely in decline and eventually fail. So that's why they need to be removed. There are, I believe that's all of them.
Okay. Mr. Jordan, is there anything, this is for the oral record and anybody listening in, given the federal legal requirements of the Americans with Disabilities Act, is there anything that the city council can do legally to ordinance around it?
No, that law would preempt any
That's
such
federal
attempt.
preemption, right?
Yes, yes.
There's nothing we can do. Their law trumps ours. Sorry for the pun. Their law supersedes ours.
Prefer that term, yes.
Yes. And there's no way we can ordinance around it.
That is correct.
Okay. I don't have any further questions. Commissioner Cento.
Thank you, President James. You know, I appreciate the discussion as well, and Adele, your comments and your commitment to preserving our urban canopy, because it is a balance between, you know, safety and sustainability. And so, Hector, I'm going to ask a question. I see we had noticed Council District 10. Was this subject to notifying the neighborhood council as well?
Yeah, we did notify the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment.
Neighborhood, okay. Any response back?
None that I know of.
Okay. Second is the choice of the trees in New Zealand, Christmas trees. They're 24-inch, and they were chosen. What's the rationale for their choice?
They were chosen because we feel they're appropriate for the growing space. Provided we had 4 feet parkways and 4 feet tree wells, and 4 foot by 6 foot tree wells.
They're broadleaf trees? They're broadleaf trees?
Yes, they are broadleaf trees.
So they will, in time, provide the shade and replace the shade that will be lost?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so therein lies the balance of the removal and the replacement. But again, I just last week we were with the Citizen Advisory Committee, the Sidewalk Repair Program. We were able to demonstrate that, exactly what you said, Adele, the idea of either meandering or pinch points, whatever we can do to preserve trees and retain trees, and I believe that's the Bureau's intent, and that is this board's intent as well. So whatever we could do to, and Adele, you had talked about some very innovative things, as long as it's passable through our agreement with the Willet settlement, and by law, we should do it. So Hector, yeah.
Yeah, so yes, again, the division does look at options as far as preserving trees. There are several other trees growing along the corridor that have been retained in place, will be retained in place. So we'll, as Commissioner James mentioned, that we'll look into possibly, if we can, save any of the trees that are targeted for removal upon the process when we remove the curb and gutter and sidewalks. If they can be saved, then we'll attempt to take every measure to do so.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis.
I wanted to ask, in terms of the meandering proposal that is going to be explored, about how many trees are we talking about that will be impacted, that potentially could perhaps be saved? And I know that that's not a definite, but it's an area that we're talking about. What are we talking about there in terms of quantity?
I think the key thing is how many are healthy and thriving trees. That's the question. I'm not sure what the number is out of those that can be actually saved. It's about 3 or 4. Is that the number? I'm not sure exactly what the number is, because I think that's really what I don't want to go in specifics.
Sure.
But our goal is if a tree is healthy, thriving, and not diseased or dying, there is a potential of saving it. The question is what's the alternative? We are dealing with an issue in different locations in the city that allows for us to do something different. In this case, the question is how long is that meandering? What's the impact? We need to do some more specific review on it. But I think what we'll do is, how many, 4?
Actually, in terms of meandering the sidewalks, there's not really a whole lot of room. I believe all the locations where the ficus trees are, where they have buildings right directly next to the sidewalks. And so there's really nowhere to meander those. However, in other locations, we can definitely explore that option.
I think the meandering discussion that happened before was meandering on the private property. I think we're changing the dialogue right now. We are looking at meandering in the public street, and that will take away parking spaces. And that, to me, is a different dialogue that hasn't been entertained before. And I think we need to put that on the table. And it's all based on 2 conditions, 1 or 3 conditions. 1, the tree is savable and thriving and healthy. Second is the community that lives there are accepting the loss of the use of the street for parking. And the third is that the that we are in compliance with ADA and the Willits settlement. All those things have to be in place. So it has to be on a case-by-case basis.
Sure.
What I promised here to do is the trees that are dead, dying, or diseased will be removed. We'll proceed with the constructions. The ones that can be saved, we'll look at the opportunities and the ability to do something. And we will come back and figure something out. But I think to me it's a new discussion. And hopefully next month or so, we are looking at another location that came before your board and went to committee today. We are looking at that alternative to save the trees in that area. If that is successful and we think it passes the ADA test and the community accepts this park, and I think that opens the door for alternatives that were not on the table before. So hopefully you'll be patient with us. Hopefully the community is patient with us. It's a very difficult balance we're trying to do. But our commitment to the safety and sustainability, and we'll figure out how we make it work. And I'm committed to having that discussion and having that process move forward.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Haj Khalil. So with that, I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 2, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Thank you, Mr. Banuelos.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ostrick, and thank you, Mr. Haj Khalil. Dr. Campos, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Okay, then we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.